Hello, and welcome to the Dynamic Man Experience, a podcast dedicated to men who want to become the 10.0 version of themselves through mastering the three key relationships of mindset, money, and the many people in their lives, creating long lasting, deep connections and trusted bonds for real appreciation and understanding. Yeah, I didn't expect to hear the sounds of waves, no matter what size they are, up here in the mountains of British Columbia, where I am for a couple of workshops with Dan Martell and his media ventures. Talk about attacking the final frontier, the subconscious mind. Not just that, it's like, how does that tie in to the heart's intelligence? It's not just the natural intelligence or the artificial intelligence. What about the HI, the heart intelligence? And having worked with Dan Martell for the last 12 months, the most stunning breakthrough moment, not moment, I suppose, like the most stunning of all the breakthroughs I've had with him is just how much stock he puts in feeling it from the heart. Like, you can say anything to anyone as long as you do it with love. That means, yeah, I've seen him on coaching calls go what he calls spicy Dan, and that's fair enough. He gets in and he gives people a bollocking, gets them on the right track because he believes in people. He believes in people that put in the commitment, put in the effort. But not only that, he does it with a real sense, feeling, intention of love. I know that's a kind of a four-letter word for most guys. We'd rather just like shit. But in fairness, when you do things with love, you end up in places like this, Kelowna. But also, uh, we kid ourselves so much. We really do. And when you see adults, men and women, cracking under the insistence of Dan to push us into realizing more of our potential, putting ourselves out there and not being so selfish in not offering, by not offering our help. So the whole thing is about being the person that we needed the most when we were on our ass. When life kicked us in the coconuts, we're here. That's why I'm here. I really, I really get such a kick out of helping guys that are struggling. Fair to say. It's not just guys that are struggling. So, like, when you challenge people in the right way, talking about like their fears and their doubts and the obstacles they think are always in their way, when you do it from the heart, that makes all the difference. And I've seen people crying on calls, and you say, wow, here's a shift happening right in front of your face. It's powerful, super powerful. But, you know, and especially for guys, what do we like? What do we like? It's so hard for us not to just talk about love and romance, but what about liking ourselves? That's nuts. That's that's the nutty part. How can we love people when we barely love ourselves? And that's where the heart comes in. We have to be a bit more romantic with our own heads, in our own heads, in our own hearts. Heart. I'm going to be meeting about a couple of hundred people here in the next couple of days. What is, like, besides everyone pushing themselves out there to be the better version of themselves, to grow their business, to buy back your time and live the life that you've always dreamed about. I was listening to a guy, Zach Bush, was on YouTube, and he was just talking the other day about the importance of human touch and hugging. Like if you're having an argument with your partner, think about how that argument would go if you started the argument with a 30-second hug, relaxed, then hash out the details. Wow. But even just the simple act of a hug, and I'm going to be like hugging the fuck out of everyone here this week. But anyway, that's that's the importance of human touch. It keeps us connected, keeps us tuned in to our own frequencies, to the love we should have for ourselves, which is always, always on the periphery. We ignore it. We let that voice in our head tear us down, kick us, kick us when we make mistakes, instead of showing ourselves compassion, showing a bit of empathy for ourselves because of all the people who should know better about the efforts and the work and the intention that we put into daily life. You would think that, yeah, man, shouldn't we be a bit easier on ourselves? Shouldn't we be a bit more in love with ourselves? No, I don't know where I got this one time, but someone told me after a breakup, take yourself out on a date. I did. I did that. And it was fucking brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Being stalked there by a couple of ducks. All I can see is a blue and green head walking past me now. So yeah, look, it's a dirty word for us guys, but we need to start embracing it. It's love. It's affairs of our own heart. It's accepting that fucking man, I'm all I can be and more. But if we come at it from that angle, if we can show the love, the heart set of the champions that we are, and we don't realize we're all billionaires, we're all millionaires, we're all like super successful. If you got up this morning and you were breathing, you're rich, you're wealthy. How many people in the last few weeks have I heard about cancer and gallbladders and hearts, heart problems and strokes and all sorts of shit? At the end of the day, if we don't love ourselves first and foremost, how are we going to give ourselves that oxygen mask to help others? That's what it's all about. As guys, we need to learn how to depend on ourselves for the appreciation, the respect, the love, the meaning, fulfillment, the satisfaction, all of that. We need to depend on ourselves. That's where we're lacking. That's where we're fucking it all up. We're looking outside. We're looking outside and thinking that, yeah, I should be more appreciated. Appreciate yourself. I should be more respected. Self-respect is the meaning of life. I should have more meaning in my life. You are the meaning of this life. You create your own meaning. That's your purpose. And yeah, we can start liking ourselves a bit better. We don't have to go full-blown love. Why not? If you ask a grizzly bear standing by the side of the salmon river, waiting for the salmon to come along, I'm sure if he could talk, he'd be like, I fucking love salmon. I love them. Grizzly bear. Yeah. So we are the grizzly bears. We need to maul ourselves, maul our attitude to love, and start loving ourselves. I wonder what the water's like here. Yeah. It's all in the heart, man. It's all in the heart. It starts in your own heart. Once you, like, just put your hand on your heart. Put your hand on your heart right now and just take a few breaths and just feel that. Listen to that crow. Listen to those little waves. Take a leaf out of the duck's book. Go for a swim. Gather some nuts like the squirrels above there. Winter's coming. Just feel that love. Love. It's all about love. John Lennon was right. Don't go looking for meaning. You create the meaning. You are the reason for your own meaning. And look, yeah, just feel your own heart. Your heart is emotions too. It's got its very own emotional intelligence storage. You're storing emotions in your heart. Open up, open it up, see what happens. Boom. More to come from Kelowna. Stay tuned.
Call it what you want. But as guys, there's an exciting challenge to being a man these days. And it doesn't take that much to really stand out. And look, you are not as far away from where you want to be, as you might think. Not when you can look at it from a different angle and get a better appreciation for the experience that has got you this far. You could call it a psychological cold plunge. It's time to freshen things up. Being a dynamic man. That is the challenge today.